Alrighty, what's going on everybody? Alex with you here again, and today what I wanted to show you guys is the brand new chess set that I acquired just a week ago. This is the Cambridge Springs chess set from the Camaratta Collection. So this particular chess set I bought from the House of Staunton. It was originally I think $209 for the version that came with the natural boxwood and the ebonized boxwood. Now, I personally chose to go ahead and upgrade, and I did get the Indian Rosewood, which, if you look online, the Indian Rosewood does look a little bit more like red. It has a little bit more of like a reddish tint to it. That is one of the things. As soon as I opened the chess set, I've kind of realized that there isn't a whole lot of red in the chess set. It's more of like a brown with a little bit of like different variations of brown. But nevertheless, it looks really aesthetic, like really pretty. So let's go ahead. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started and take a look at the box up close. We have the leather box that I actually had the option to purchase with this set. The box was, I think, originally $157, but I was able to get it for about half the price. It comes with a really nice key, as you can see here. The lock is functional. You can actually lock and unlock it. The inside's fairly spacious for depending on what type of pieces you get. There is a little bit of room in the top, so they do say that you can pretty much put in any type of a king as far as like 4 or 4.4 inches in height. They will still be able to fit. Here's what the chess set looks like on my board. Now, one thing I do want to say is that on the website it does say that the king is 1.5 inches in diameter as far as the base of the king, and they do recommend that you get a 2.25 square size board for it. That's the recommended. As you will see further, I tried different types of boards, and the one that you see here in this video is a 2.5, so slightly bigger. I do feel like the pieces sit pretty well. There's quite a bit of room still on the squares. Now here is the smaller board that I have. This is the board from the Library Grandmaster chess set that I showed you guys a video to previously. Now, the pieces for the Library Grandmaster chess set were originally designed for that board, and the diameter of those pieces is substantially smaller. For the most part, if we don't take into account the king and the queen, the other pieces seem to still have sufficient enough space on the squares. So if the king and the queen didn't have such a large diameter base, then I would probably say that you could even utilize a smaller board like this. I feel like this is playable. For this particular chess set, I feel like you would still be a little bit cramped for room, and you would feel like you have to tread carefully because there is that likelihood that you might knock into the other pieces as you're trying to move your own pieces. So having a larger board, I feel like, is always a good thing. Let's go ahead and take a look individually. Let's start with the king. As you can see, I still haven't gotten a call back, or I haven't gotten a reply back from the House of Staunton. As I mentioned in the previous video, I contacted them and I asked them what type of glue I need to use to glue the felt bottoms to the king. I just didn't want to like mess it up and then have always the king being like tilted to one side or something. Like the dark pieces will have a little bit of grain to them, so you could see like the porosity to it, like little holes. That just means that the type of wood isn't super dense. If the wood is extremely dense, it has the ability to be polished really well, and if that wood is polished, a lot of times you don't see those little pores in the wood. It's usually not that noticeable in the light pieces, but more so when you're looking at the dark pieces, that you'll see these little holes. The top, as you could see in this particular footage, the top is just a little piece that's been separately glued in. I think in my other Camaratta collection, the Paulson series, either it's glued in a lot better to where you don't see that seam, or it's been just one single piece. But here you could see they stuck it in there, they glued it in, and off we go. The queen, the king, and the bishop, and also the pawn, they're all very like a lot more slender than some of the other sets that I was able to see. Is that a concerning factor? No, I think they made it a little bit more slender for just the aesthetics of it. If a piece were to fall, I would probably say that if it was a queen or a king, then there might be a possibility that right in that slender area where it's kind of a little bit weak, that's probably where it would end up getting fractured, like if it fell on the floor or something like that. We can see here that the king weighs 72 grams, and then the black king weighs 69 grams. The diameter of the base of the king is 38 millimeters. This here is a shot where I'm comparing plastic tournament chess set of a slightly bigger size to this particular one, just to be able to show you guys a difference in the neck. You could see that it's a lot thinner in this particular chess set, which kind of does make it look pretty unique. In fact, it's only like right at 1 centimeter at the thinnest point for the king. Here we can see I wanted to throw this in because I wanted to show you guys how the Cambridge chess set compares to my other chess sets. On the very small one on the very right, it will always be the Library Grandmaster chess set, as I will compare the other pieces the same way too, so you guys don't get confused as which piece is what. On the very right, it's the Library Grandmaster chess set. So you see it's usually going to be a lot smaller and a lot less detailed. The next one after that in size will be this Cambridge Springs series chess set. Following that, the white plastic, that's just that tournament chess set that I got recently. I think the price was about $69 or so. And lastly, in the very end, we have the Camaratta Collection 1852 Paulson series chess set. That's usually going to be the biggest one when I'm comparing to the other ones. Except the pawn. You'll see the pawn is actually going to be bigger in the plastic chess set. It's going to be the biggest one of all. Moving on, here we have the queens. The top is very rounded. Not badly made at all. Very nice. You get 4 queens in the set with, once again, the necks are pretty slender overall. So yeah, very rounded top. It looks really nice overall, but you could tell it belongs to the same set. 59 grams, and I actually threw in the other queen here, so that boosts it up to 116 grams. I just wanted to see if the queens were about the same size, and I removed the previous one and got it to about 58. Same with the dark ones. I just wanted to see if there was any discrepancy with regards to like weight. 39.75 millimeters. 39 as compared to 38 for the king. As far as the neck, your measurements are about the same as the king at right around 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter or so in the thinnest area. So pretty thin overall. You could see the queen measures slightly smaller than the plastic chess set, but definitely a lot bigger than the Library Grandmaster chess set. Here I'm throwing in a couple of pictures where I just wanted you guys to see the comparison of the size of the base of the king and queen together. Moving on, we have the bishops here. Actually, the top of the bishop portion reminds me of the gooseberries. If anybody knows what a gooseberry shape looks like, that I would probably say that's more so what it kind of the very top looks that way. Not bad. I'm not super thrilled about that center cut. The center cut on the top just kind of looks like they didn't really put any detail into it. It was just like kind of like a very rudimentary cut. Here's a comparison of all the bishops. At 44 grams and the black ones at 45. And then I'm measuring the diameter of the bottom is at 33 millimeters for anybody who's interested, and 9.15 millimeters for the neck. Moving on, here we have the knights. In this particular case, I think that the knights do look fairly good. I don't really know why they made a bunch of holes. They had as you can see here, they made a hole right through into the ear, and then a couple of holes right above the eyes, and a hole in the nostril. It just kind of looks like they took just a small drill and just drilled a bunch of holes in there. So maybe they would just wanted to add a little bit of detail, but kind of funny looking. I don't know why they did that. Not necessarily in any way distracting, or the knights still look really nice. I just wonder what it would look if they didn't punch a bunch of holes in right above the eye. Here's the comparison of the different knights. The knight is a lot more defined than the Library Grandmaster chess set, but it's still, you know, it's still not as defined as the Paulson series chess set. As far as the weight, it's at 46 grams for the light one, and then 46 grams, 47 for the dark one. The diameter of the base of the knight measures at 33 millimeters. Here we have the Rooks. There isn't a whole lot that differentiates Rooks except maybe the top. They are not slender like the other pieces. They're pretty standard. The weight distribution in them is pretty standard too. Here's the comparison of the Rooks. Once again, in size, it kind of lies right in between the Library Grandmaster chess set and the tournament, the plastic tournament set. So it's kind of right there in between. The Rooks weigh in at about 48 grams for the dark one, and that I did just throw in there the measurement of 17 millimeters for the neck, but it really doesn't matter because they didn't. I don't think they strived to make the neck of the Rook any smaller than it needs to be. Here's the diameter of the dark piece. Dark Rooks 33. Pawn's really slender in the neck. The little cape, as you could see here, kind of points down. So from the ball down to that little cape area right underneath the ball, it kind of slopes down, but then underneath the cape, it kind of is pretty flat overall. So here's we have the comparison. It's a little bit bigger than the Library Grandmaster and weighs at 22 grams and about 20 for the light one. Diameter of the base is 26, almost 27, and then 6.7 millimeters for the neck of it. Here's the box. Once again, this is what I wanted to show you guys. If you set the pieces in the box like this, and you can close it, just because you have that extra space in the top. So for those of you guys who are concerned, maybe you want to get this box and you've been looking into it, and you're thinking, hey, like, am I going to be able to fit my king standing in the box? That plastic king was 4.4, so I don't see there to be a real issue or problem being able to stand up the king inside of the box. The biggest problem with this particular box, as you can see in this next slide, is that for this particular chess set, and this guys is not like the biggest chess set out there, definitely as far as the base diameter, I almost fitted everything in except like the one of the pawns just did not. I tried to accommodate everything as perfectly as I could, and at the very last part, like the last pawn just would not sit completely on the floor. So if I was a stickler about it, which I'm not, in fact, I'm probably going to store them sideways anyways. So, but if I was getting this particular box to have all my pieces standing, there you have it. Like one of the pieces might not get the room that you were hoping that it would. And for some people, they might find that a little bit annoying. But for me, I just wanted to show you guys that this particular set didn't fully fit into the box. But it's not going to bother me in any way. It's overall nice box. Here's the measurements in the box. You could see lengthwise, it's at about 9 3/4, somewhere in that area. 9 3/4 inches. And then the width of it is like 7.5 inches. And then the height is almost, as you can see, almost 5 inches in height. The weight of the box, the empty box, is right above 1 kilo. It's like 1.195 kilograms. This is without the pieces. The weight of all the pieces, this is a pretty small weight scale, and I managed to put all of the pieces on there, including the extra queens. And the measurement here says 1.259 kilograms. That is, not terribly heavy chess set, but it's somewhere kind of in the mid-range. So what is my opinion of it? As far as like from what I've been able to play with it, the pieces feel really good in your hand, and it doesn't feel like they're made cheaply. It really, like, the wood is really nice and solid. I think this overall is a really nice playable set. My recommendation is, if you do get this particular set, consider getting a board maybe 2.25 like they say, or even get a slightly bigger one, like a 2.5. If you can get away with a slightly bigger one, I think that overall you would probably benefit. This board here is a 2.5, and I feel like it gives me just enough room to be able to move the pieces around. And overall, like, I think that the way that they fit here, I was concerned that on this board they're gonna seem a little small, but I don't think that's the case. I really don't. And overall, I think that if you end up considering this particular chess set, then the price of this set isn't too expensive. I'd be interested to see if any of you guys bought the other variations in color, like maybe the natural boxwood and ebonized boxwood, and let me know whether it looks similar, whether it kind of feels the same, whether the porosities. I'm actually interested to see if looking up close at like the ebonized boxwood, if you see the same amount of porosities in it as you would in the Indian redwood here. So let me know in the comments below. Overall, I think that this set is really nice for the price. I would recommend it. I would also definitely recommend the box, even though, like I said, the box isn't necessarily the biggest. And they did say online that if you wanted to consider a coffer box, which is going to be the bigger one that has the individual compartments for like each individual piece, they do say that this particular set is too small for a coffer, you know. So they do, I guess they want like a 4 or a 4.4 inch king to be kind of the, you know, the requirement. Another thing that I do wanna say is that the size of this particular king is 3.875, so they say. But as I mentioned before in my previous video, there is sometimes a discrepancy between different chess sets, as I've been able to notice this online. Because I don't own a whole lot of different chess sets, I have to go by the pictures online and kind of take a look, and also, you know, go see chess sets of my friends and kind of measure those. But one of the patterns that I've noticed is that some chess sets, and I've already brought this idea up in the previous video, if you have say you have a king and they say online that the king's going to be 4 inches tall, then you would assume that the queen's going to be, you know, a certain percentage less. So, you know, given maybe the king is 4 inches, the queen might be 80% of that. And then the bishop is going to be 80% of what the queen is, and then the knight's going to be 90% of what the bishop is, and then following the rook is going to be the smallest one. However, sometimes that's not the case. And some chess sets I've seen, they would say, well, the king is only like 3.75 inches tall, but you look at all the other pieces, and all the other pieces are pretty tall as well. You're like, how tall is that queen? Because it seems like all the other pieces are like almost in par with so there's not that normal drop off. Whether it's the right thing or not, whether it's the way it should be done, it's hard to say, but that's just something that we have to keep in mind, that we can't just go by the height of just the king to let us know how large the chess set is. So, you know, something you guys want to keep in mind. I might end up giving this, potentially giving this chess set to a really good friend of mine. I met him in high school, and he ended up actually getting me into chess. So he has moved back to Europe, and his birthday is going to be in October. So I might decide to, you know, possibly surprise him. He doesn't check my channel. He doesn't watch my channel. He doesn't care about social media anyways. So, so I know he's not going to watch this video, period. So I don't know. I might give it some thought, and maybe I'll decide to send this, package it all up, and send it to him. He has a chess set. It's just like a really inexpensive, cheap one. So maybe I'll surprise him and send it to his birthday. I still have till October to decide. So if you guys collectively, you know, comment and say, do send it to him, by all means, you know, you'll definitely brighten up his day, then I'll probably will, you know. By no means, if you guys decide to subscribe to my channel and, you know, put a lot of likes on here and a lot of comments and kind of sway me one way to say, yeah, go ahead and send it over to him, then definitely I'll come October, I'll send it over to him. So with that being said, you know, thanks guys for watching. Like I said, it took me a while to make this video, and by no means is it perfect. because I had to go back and reshoot a bunch of stuff, and I just wasn't happy with a bunch of stuff, and so it ends up being just one large headache towards the end, because you're constantly having to pick and choose about what to get, and you still end up being unhappy about the video because you're just like, why is this shaky, why is this all over the place, you know, who's gonna want to watch this anyway? So but if you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, see you guys later.